Pilots, welcome back to Motion RC. I'm James, and today we're talking about just one of our 4 brand new 470 super scale, ready to fly, GPS stabilized RC helicopters. This is the Airwolf, inspired by the TV show. Anyone probably who likes helicopters will have come across the Airwolf TV show and know that this is an icon in the heli world as far as it goes, and we're excited to have it represented in our new lineup. Now, before we get into the Airwolf specifically, I just want to go over what all 4 of these RotorScale helis come with as far as features go. Then we'll get into this Airwolf and the special feature that it has. So let's start with those features. So now, if you notice, all 4 RC helicopters we release here in the RotorScale 470 lineup, we got the Bell 206 in the fire livery, we've got the MD500E in a sheriff livery, we got the UE, and now we've also got the Airwolf. All 4 of these helicopters feature advanced GPS stabilization. That comes with 3 flight modes, one that's great for beginners, and then all the way up to a manual mode, which is perfect for any helicopter veterans out there used to flying helicopters the normal way. You're gonna have a lot of fun with this one as well. All 4 helicopters, again, come ready to fly. So that means you get a transmitter, you get a battery, a 5200 4S. In this case, you get a charger, you get a manual, you get everything you need to fly this helicopter out of the box, except the 4 AA batteries you'll need to place in your transmitter. All 4 of these helis come with a fiberglass fuselage, which is highly detailed. It's gorgeously painted, but you'll also see the rivet detail and all the other details around the helicopter. You know, some of the helicopters are going to have, let's say, the exhaust engines, and those are painted. Some of the helicopters have little grates for air to come into it. Those are painted nice. Again, the rivet detail you're going to see on all the helis. The windows are nice and clear. You're going to get all of that out of the box with any of the helis you choose. All of these helis feature scale LED navigational lights. So all the helis are going to have red and green, green on the white flashing, red on the left side. You also get a few other lights on the helicopter, again, scale to it. All 4 helicopters featured painted carbon fiber blades. The Airwolf's blades on top were just painted white, so it's a little more simple, but like the MD500 has a nice red-white with yellow tips. The UE has some oranges on there. They're all painted to their scale fidelity, and again, carbon fiber, they look awesome. So now, coming back to the Airwolf itself, again, a lot of these helicopters all have a special feature, like the MD500 has a spotlight you could turn on and off. The Bell 206 has a water feature. You could actually drop water as if you were putting out a fire. The Airwolf itself comes with retracts, which is awesome. So when you take off with your retracts, you can pop them up, and it gives it that clean TV show appeal. So you can really, accentuate those side guns, which would pop out on the side of the Airwolf. All absolutely awesome. So that's the feature we'll get into, and I'll show you how those work as soon as we plug it in here in a little bit. But now, again, I want to go over a few things that you're going to have to do out of the box with this helicopter that, unfortunately, I don't have any footage to show you. I received, we all here at Motion RC, we received our samples early, and at that point we weren't sure how they were going to come for the customer. Like, mine came where some of the windows weren't pre-installed, mostly the 2 side windows, and that's going to be the same for you. So when you take it out of the box, on the canopy itself, which has a little bit of a magnet, and you take off, on the canopy itself, these 2 windows on each side are going to come in the box on their own, and you just have to, and they're already pre-cut with enough space on the insides of them. There's enough space on the inside where you could put a little glue around the outside, press it on, and lock it in yourself. Or if you wanted to change it, it's up to you. If you wanted to do some more, some people want to maybe leave them off. It's up to you, but they'll be in the box like that. And then for the Airwolf itself, the guns and the whole side mechanism, that comes just in a bag on the side, but very easy. It's all pushed together. You push the whole unit together, and then I used actually a little bit of foam tack, the Beacon foam tack, to just lock it all in. Like, I put a little dab, but what I love about foam tack is it's malleable and it holds really well. But if I ever needed to separate, if I ever wanted to take this off, you could just sort of pry it off, and it won't damage the body. It won't damage any of the parts. You could just peel that glue off. So for me, it's a little better than using CA, but if you want to lock it in and make sure it doesn't move, then it's up to you. But you get the machine guns and the cannons for both sides. That comes in the box. Then the only other things you really have to install on this are going to be your stabilizers. So on this side of the, on both sides of the heli, they give you 2 screws. You glue on these you screw on these vertical fins, and then you're going to glue the stabilizers to the fuselage. For that, I use CA. I wanted something hard and firm that I know wasn't going to go anywhere. So I used, I believe, a medium CA on that, and let that go. You could epoxy it, which would probably be even better, but that'll be up to you, the user. Everything else is going to be pre-installed except for your main blades. And when you install the blades, anybody who, if you've not gotten into helis before, when you do tighten down your blades, because it's just 1 screw, they give you the Allen key with a nut underneath to lock it in. You don't want to lock it down firm enough where you can't move it. And you also don't want to have it be too loose. The way you attach a blade to the head, to the motor head on a scale heli or on any heli, is you want it to a point where when you tighten it, when I hit it, it'll stop in whatever place I move it to. So if you see, like when I hit it, it stops immediately, like almost when my finger leaves it. It won't continue to move. If this is loose and all over the place, that's not good. And then if this is so firm that I have to, like, I feel like I would break it, that's not good either. So it's like the Goldilocks spot, if you will, to lock the blades on. And again, since these blades are painted, the white side's going to be up, and the non-painted side is going to be down. So now when you do all that, you'll have a completed helicopter, and now it's just a matter of charging up your battery. Again, you get a 5200. I'll take it out right here. And if you notice, it's a Roban LiPo. That's because Roban helped us. It's a conjunction project between Motion RC and Roban to create these RotorScale lineups. RotorScale is our brand, so they're the ones behind this. So if you enjoy Roban helicopters for their scale fidelity, that's essentially what you're getting in these helis, which is great. But you get the 5200. Now for CG on all these helicopters, I just place it as close, as far forward as it will go. And in this case, the battery on the Airwolf itself, you can get it to the point where the battery lines up directly with the plate. So that makes it very easy to CG it. You get a nice battery strap. I also added Velcro underneath, which comes with it, to make sure it's really secure in there, and that makes it easy. And what you'll see with the Airwolf, like all the other RotorScale helis we got, that advanced GPS unit is right on top, so easy access if you need to change anything, and easy for you to see the lights, because when you do plug this in, it's a little bit of a light game. You want to make sure the light is in the correct, the lights are correct before you take off, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But now also underneath the battery, you're going to see all the components for the retracts down here. It's basically just one servo that makes all the retracts go, and then it's a series of ball link joints and grub screws that hold them together. So you can easy access if you have to make a change at all, you can get in there very easily. And what's beautiful about the whole mechanism on these helicopters, there's just 4 screws in here, 2 up top and 2 on the bottom, and you could take the entire electronics out of the fuselage if you ever needed to work on anything, because things will break. Eventually, at some point, you may need to get access to the inside of your heli. And the beauty is, since it's RotorScale, it's our brand, you could expect spare parts galore for these helis. Everything you're ever going to need will always be available as long as these maintain a long lifespan, which we believe they're gonna, because they're gorgeous. So now before we get to flying, I do want to talk about one thing that's very important. That's the startup feature. So wherever you're going to take your heli for the first time, prepare to wait about 4 to 5 minutes, or sometimes 1 minute. It depends on your location. It's always different. But for you to get those GPS signals, and then if you continue to fly at the same spot, it'll be a lot faster each time you take it out. But that first initialization of the GPS, you may have to wait about 5 minutes for the lights to turn on. So I just want to talk about the sequence that you're going to want to do before your first flight to get it in the air. So we'll go over to the transmitter. So now the transmitter that comes with it is pretty basic. You got 4 switches up top. You got your throttle stick and your side stick. And then on the bottom, you're going to see these 2 buttons. You push down both of those buttons, and that will turn it on. Push and hold, and when it's turned on, you're going to see a big lock in the front, and then you're going to see a little telemetry on the top. But basically, again, it won't turn on unless you install 4 AA batteries. That's the only thing you'll have to supply. So now, one thing you'll notice, and actually I'll do this, I'll turn it off, is the same way. And you hear the sound to turn it off. Now, if you have one of these switches down, this is what I want to say, it'll let you know when I turn it on. You hear that? It says place all switches in the top position. So now it's turned on, because what you want to do when you get to the field, so you're going to take the canopy off. You have your battery is locked in. You're ready to go now. Everything's charged up. This is going to be the first time you fly. What you want to do, turn on your transmitter. Don't plug the helicopter in yet. Flip your run switch. The far left switch says run and cut. Put it into the cut position. Then you come over to your heli and we plug it in. And now right away, you're going to see the light turn on the GPS unit itself. It'll flash green, it'll flash teal, but then it does a little blue and red, and that's when it initializes, and you see the blades move in the head. That means you know you're bound now to the transmitter. But now nothing will happen, so you don't have to worry about, those blades coming on or anything. Nothing's going to happen to the to the heli when you're in this mode. You're just getting prepared to go. So now from this point, you're going to see the light is going to flash teal. It's almost blue, it's almost green. I'm a little colorblind, but it looks teal is what I believe it to be, because when it goes green, I could tell it's really green. But it's going to flash that teal, and it'll do that your first time. Leave the helicopter alone and just watch that light. So again, this may take a minute to 5 minutes, depending. When that light starts flashing a regular green, that means it has now found GPS satellites and you are ready to arm it and go. And then all you would do at that point is you're going to push on the throttle stick, and you could watch it, if you just want to arm it. Again, you can arm it without taking off, just so you can see for yourself. I won't be able to do it here. I'll show you footage from one of the other helicopters when we did it. It's the same for all of them. But you push down and to the right. And if you wait about 5 seconds, maybe 4 seconds, your flashing green light goes solid green. That's when all you have to do from that point is flip the run switch. Your tail motor is going to spin up. Your main blades are going to spool up, and then you just wait a couple seconds to reach top speed. And when you push the throttle up, it's going to take off, and you are off and flying. Now, if you arm it and you wait like 5 seconds, it goes back to a flashing green. That means when you flip the run switch, it won't go anymore. It just stays in the, it stays bound, but it's not ready to arm. So just so you guys know, you have about 5 seconds from the time you push down and to the right to then flip the run switch. If not, you'll just have to push down to the right again and then go again. So that's the only real thing I wanted everybody here to know before you take it off. And then, from there, the rest of the switches are pretty self-explanatory. All right, so the far left switch, again, is your run cut. You always want to be in the cut position, if you don't want the motor head to, spin at all, or if the motor head is spooling and you're on the ground, you flip that cut switch and it's going to stop all the motors from spinning. Don't hit that one in the air. Your next switch is your accessory switch. That's going to turn the spotlight on and off on the MD500. That'll drop the water on the 206, and that is going to work the retracts on the Airwolf here. So it's awesome. It actually has a 3-position switch, so they'll go halfway, but you're basically going all the way down or all the way up. That'll work your landing gear. So it's really beautiful, and when you see it here with some B-roll, you take off, you bring the gear in, and then you move forward, and it looks super scale like you would on the TV show. But that's basically what the accessory switch does on this. And then on the far right, the right side, you will see 2 more switches. You have your 3 flight modes that we spoke about. So top position automatically is going to be a GPS mode. That's your beginner mode. That's GPS locked. That's the easiest way to fly. Then you have angle mode and manual mode. Again, manual mode is going to be the way a normal helicopter pilot flies his helicopter, and then angle mode is sort of a mix of both. Makes it a little easier. So it's the type of thing where you start off as a beginner, take it up to a nice height, flip it to angle mode, and you can start practicing your way if you want to get to learn regular helis, but that's up to you. And then the far right side is going to be your return to home. You see off and return to home. So remember, when you arm your helicopter, that's going to set the home point where the helicopter will return if you use the return to home feature. So make sure you don't arm your helicopter under a tent or under a tree and then walk your helicopter out to the flying spot, start flying around, and forget that you did that. Because if you flip the return home switch, the helicopter is going to go to that original home point and it's going to try to land. Remember, these helicopters are GPS stabilized. They do not have obstacle avoidance. So if you armed it under a tree, walked it out into a clean area, and then hit return to home, it's going to fly over that tree and try to land. It does not know how to move out of the way. But if you hit that switch, you could expect to see your heli. So if your heli was at eye level with you, it goes up to about 20 meters. Then it orientates itself in the same position. So if I plug the heli in this way, it'll orientate itself in the air in this position, and then it'll move over to the spot and it's gonna land on its own right there. And we have a lot of footage of us just standing behind it with our transmitters like this, and it lands on its own, which is great. So just keep that in mind. That's what the 4 switches do. And that's basically all you really need to know as far as, you know, when you get started with these helis. So at this point, if you had it, you know, once you get your GPS satellites and you know you're ready to go, the last thing you'll do is put the canopy back on. And this one has a magnet in front, and then has 4 metal prongs that lock it in to give it that clean sort of finish. And then you're ready to roll with your Airwolf. Now, as far as flying it around, again, I'm no expert heli pilot. I never put it in angle or manual mode. I just haven't learned that yet. I'm a little nervous about doing that, I'm not gonna lie. I've always loved flying in that GPS stabilized mode. That's where I like to live. It's fun for me to fly around like that. I enjoy it, especially with something big like this, because it's very familiar. I was you know, as a cameraman first and an editor, I got into flying those DJI drones like the Inspire, the Phantom with a camera on them, and they're very easy to fly. And when you're looking on the screen, you know, it was very comfortable. That's exactly how I feel when I'm flying these. I'm extremely comfortable in that GPS mode. And to me, that's the only mode I really ever will need to go in. I'm not in the mood to really push myself, but the fact now that I can get myself a gorgeous scale heli, and I can't wait to see what other ones might come, in a big, nice size, like it's a beautiful size that's going to turn heads when you bring it to your field or wherever you plan on taking this. It's just really awesome to be able to fly around and do some of those nice, you know, scale movements. Like I always love helicopters, especially the scale helis. Like, you know, you envision the nose, you know, the nose stays pointing at something as the heli turns and makes those movements. And then when you've got the iconic shape, that shape, like when the nose of the Airwolf is pointed at you, coming at you with those guns on the side, it just, you feel like you're watching that TV show. It looks really cool. So it's awesome that we finally gotten to this point in the technology of RC that everyone now can enjoy a big scale RC helicopter. And some of those guys who had never thought they'd fly a heli before are eventually going to find themselves, you know, wanting to do, you know, the manual and getting into more helicopters and building their own helicopters. You know, a lot of those big Roban kits we sell, you know, a lot of guys want them, but they're just too afraid to even get into helis. You know, that's where we're hoping to take this even further as we go. But either way, guys, we're super excited to have these 4 helicopters not only here, but available right now, ready to ship from the warehouse. So guys, if you're interested, whether you like the Airwolf, the Huey, the MD500, or the Bell 206, they are ready to go. They're gonna have spare parts availability, and Wes and I are here to help you guys. So if you have any questions about these, please leave them in the comment section down below. We'll answer as many as we possibly can, or you can contact our customer service team as well. They can answer any of your questions. And as always, guys, we thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button on your way out the door. And if you're not subscribed, we are really close to 100,000. We want to put that plaque on the wall, and we're going to do a big giveaway show when we hit that 100,000, and we'll give away some prizes. So guys, please do that for us. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time at Motion RC. Bye, guys.